There it is. Okay, that's hilarious. So first what I can say is that is an impossible piece of brilliance to follow. My body just feels, I'm just shaking with appreciation for Elise and the young people and all the people who've been part of this event. And I was saying to my friends, I don't know actually what I'm going to say to begin with. And then to walk up here and have the mic not work is kind of funny, because at my high school graduation, I was the salutatorian. And at our high school, St. Joe's, over 2,000 kids in Edmonton, and truly, I had no clue why I was asked to be the salutarian, because I really felt like I didn't know anybody, except a couple of teachers, actually, that I connected with. So when I was asked to be the salutarian, it was to greet and thank the parents and the teachers. And so I did. I walked up on stage, and it was about a week after I had just gotten married, by the way, and had just turned 18, by the way. And Len, my husband, is still sitting with me, sitting here tonight. So something was okay about that. But I came up on stage at St. Joe's Composite High School, where I really felt so disconnected from what had been going on there. Had no clue people even knew who I was, except Father Wirtz and the religious studies class, where he introduced me to Viktor Frankl and man's search for meaning, and the whole concept of the logos, the power of the word. Yeah, really, it was one person, Father Wirtz, and actually Father Wirtz was the person that married Len and I. So anyways, I walked up at my high school graduation onto the stage and said, I only have a small story to tell you. And the mic died. I have this effect on watches and other electrical appliances sometimes. And that's kind of the truth, I do. But I don't think that was my fault that moment. But it took them about 30 minutes to get it up and running. And then I could tell my little story, which really was based on Khalil Gibran and one of his pieces of poetry. Really, the one on our children are not our children. Our children are not our children. So I feel really blessed in my life to be able to spend time with young people and spend time with people in general. So when I was thinking about today, I thought, okay, what do I have to say? I don't know. All I can share with you is sort of the terror and joy of how I experience being human now, at this time in my life, today. And some of the language around that has come out sounding like growth edge. All right, growth edge. So this is a great time of year to think about that. It's like when you see the leaves just uncurling in the spring, and there's that little edge opening to the world. So growth edge. It also feels like a wound, because we've all had scrapes and scratches and little cuts, right? So a wound, just as it's healing, right? So it's kind of itchy, and it attracts your attention, right? And it's the good, bad kind of itchy. Got to be careful with it a little bit. In this case, though, it never heals. It's just there. This growth edge of our consciousness. What we know and what we don't know. I have a friend, Winnie Bauer, who's crossed over. Somebody said, what do you mean crossed over? Well, look, there's a line on the carpet. Here, I'm in human body form, and I cross over here, and I'm not in my body anymore. So Winnie's not in her body anymore, but she certainly is still in my life. And she really was one of the people that taught me, or was evocative for this experience, that human equals learner. Human equals learner. And one of the ways I learned this was, I had the joy of, knowing her for a number of years, and the privilege of being with her as she crossed from this way of presenting to this. And as she was in relationship with cancer, and she never considered herself at war with cancer, she considered herself in relationship with cancer, And she felt it was a relationship she was sharing with the times. So she knew she had a personal story related to it, and she knew there was a story bigger than her going on. And what she said is, Barbara, I have to do this myself. Right? There's nothing you can do with this thing I'm dealing with. That's my work. But I don't have to do it alone. I have to do it myself, but I don't have to do it alone. That was one big learning for me. Oh, okay, so when I'm a learner, exploring this edge, this growth edge of my consciousness, of what I know and what I don't know, I have to do that myself, right? I have to do it myself. And I realized there's 3 qualities that are related to that, living on that space of what's known and not known yet. And these 3 qualities, maybe I'd call them something different later or tomorrow, but today, in this moment, I would say patience, practice, and love. Let's go to the next slide. I don't even remember what it is. Oh, perfect. Okay, so favorite little story when I was younger. On this growth edge of what I know and don't know, which kind of feels itchy and can feel irritated, Carl Jung, somebody earlier mentioned Carl Jung, wonderful humanist, psychologist, who really brought to the world an understanding of our shadow. Our shadow. So in this liminal space, and a liminal space is a space potent with activity, where something's going to happen now. In this space, this growth edge, right on this edge of what I don't know lives my shadow. That's my experience. My shadow. Well, what is my shadow? Well, apparently it follows me. And it looks like everything casts a shadow here. There's only a certain time of the day when the sun's right over your head for an instant. And if you stand very still, you might not have a shadow, but it's very brief, right? Very brief. But there is a moment when you don't. So the shadow, Carl Jung said, it's all those parts of myself that I will not see. I don't like them. They're not beautiful. They're not well formed. They're rude. At times inexcusable. So parts of me I don't want to own, and also incredible unknown potentials that are beautiful live in my shadowlands too. Everything casts a shadow, and I would propose to you that you want your shadow. Peter Pan did. Why did he want his shadow? Without a shadow, you can't know love. You can't know love. Wanted Wendy. Had to get that shadow. Ended up getting it. So I need to work with my shadow. What does that look like? So patience, practice, and love. Patience. All right. Patience. The roots of patience, very old, is suffering. How do we stand seeing those parts of ourselves that we can't stand, that we suffer with in a way? Well, we have each other, which is awesome. And that's part of the work that I love, being in relationship in my work life with young people and their brilliance. Right? We have each other. They help me. And I hope I help them too in their human journey. So we have each other. And part of what we have each other for is a kind of mirroring, right? So it seems that if I don't like something, if there's something in my shadowland that's living right at the edge of my growth edge that's kind of irritating me, it's okay. It's easier for me to see it in you. You bug me. You irritate me. I don't agree with you, right? So it's easier for me to see that part of my shadowland in you. Because thank you and bless you, you've somehow agreed to come and offer a mirror. How wonderful, right? How wonderful is that, right? So, and then part of the practice is, and James mentioned earlier, reframing. So reframing and also shifting perspective so I can see that actually what is irritating me in you is me. It's a quality of mind. Now, the quantity doesn't matter. It could be a truckload of cement, right, of my unresolved, unloved stuff that I see reflected in you, or it could be a tiniest bit of feather. The amount and weight doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you irritate me, it's a part of my growth edge. It's a part of the shadow that's asking to be welcomed and loved. Patience. Stand the life with that suffering right at that edge. Practice. Step outside of my experience and look from a number of different perspectives. How would that look over here? How would that look over here? And the gift of my friends and the people I work with as mirrors. Now, luckily, you're not just mirrors, you're also helpers. Well, you're helping us being a mirror, too, but you're helpers as well. And up on the screen, there's an image that I've borrowed from the Heart Math Institute. And I've been following their work for a number of years. Wonderful science around neurocardiology and just the interaction of the heart to our human experience. So right now, you're sitting in each other's fields. Quite literally. You're sitting in each other's torus, heart-torus field. So it's an electromagnetic field generated by the electrical activity of your heart. Because the heart is pretty special. It has its own circulatory system, and it has its own electrical system. Some of the young people that know me, I just noticed Emily smiling because it's like, oh God, she's talking about the heart again. I can't believe it. It's true. So you're sitting in each other's heart space. The wonderful thing about that is, I know we've all had the feeling of walking into a room and feeling, so just walking into a room and then feeling, well, we're interacting with space that has substance. Okay, so I walk into the room. Oh. So there's a field I'm meeting, right, that's having an effect. And I can also walk into a room and be uplifted, right? So I can be feeling down. There's a piece of my growth edge, that shadowland that is being reflected, that's irritating me like a wound that won't quite heal. And I might think of, I'm going to call my friend, that one. And I choose that one and I pick up the phone, and within a few sentences, I'm feeling better. So it seems like even over the phone, I can interact with my friend's heart field. Because if my friend is in good shape and is in coherence, so the systems of her body, or his body, are harmoniously dancing together, her presence will help heal me. Her presence will uplift me. Right? So we affect each other. We're mirrors. You bug me. Right? And we're each other's allies. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being there. So, patience with our suffering and with the suffering of others. Practice different points of view. Love. I don't even know what the next picture is. Oh, love. So we have, it's amazing working with young people. And I feel extremely fortunate to work with young people. And part of the work looks like a conversation. And some of the conversation, there was a world philosophy course that my colleague Mark was offering, and Eli was part of, and they were talking, I got invited to have a conversation. I got to present a point of view and kind of defend it, right? And my point of view, what I believed in, was human beings are learners by design, right? Something I felt my whole life and was helped by meeting Brent Cameron and hearing that language, and was alive before then. Human beings are learners by design. And we had this, you know, they wanted to pick holes in my in what I had said. And it was fun. Because what came out of it was Eli saying, Barbara, is what you're saying life is learning? And I said, wow, that sounds like it should be the tagline for our school. You just got it. And then we took it further with our Youth Advisory Council, and we said life is learning. And learning is love. And love is life. Learning is love. What does that mean? What does that mean? If all of human activity is learning behavior, is a learning gesture, everything, And if we're learners who know some things and don't know other things about ourselves, and if there's a practice of patience, there's a quality of suffering in being human. There's a quality of practice, which includes a kind of reflecting and trying to see from other points of view. Then I think love is the daily activity of getting up and greeting myself and greeting you over and over and over again in this exquisite experience of being human and being in learning together. Winnie, who I mentioned at the beginning, my friend, about a day and a half before she breathed herself out of her body, I had been struggling with my own growth edge. I don't know what to do. Okay, like feeling like this is too hard. So feeling like over here, it would be easier if she was finished now and if she was dead. And over here, it's so hard to be with this suffering. And over here, she could spontaneously heal, by the way. So I have to leave space open for that, right? And I'm sure about, 7 other or 9 other positions of, so feeling like, oh man. So I went in early, and there was a book by her bedside, and she was sleeping. So I opened the book up, and it was a story of raccoon. So I just read the story of raccoon to myself. And then Winnie, and I put it back. Didn't say it out loud, just in my own head. Put it aside. And then Winnie woke up, and she just seemed troubled. And so I said, Winnie, is there anything you need to let go of before you leave? And she said, yes. I said, geez. I had planned on doing some work with her with my drum. But my drum was at her house, not at the hospital. And it was about finding her power animal to help her, right? This universal gesture of we have friends, and some of them are animal or spirit animals who help us. I said, don't have my drum. And she said, it's okay. I know what it is. And when you get those shivers, and she's going to say, and you're going, that's impossible that she said, but she does. She says, it's the raccoon. And so I say, Winnie, I want to read you the story that I just read while you were sleeping about raccoon. And this is the story. Raccoon has been sleeping all through the winter. Oh, but his stomach starts to feel hungry. And the spring breeze is bringing the little smell of growing things. And raccoon struggles to open his eyes. Oh, something smells so good. I'm going to find it. He climbs out of his burrow. Where is it? Oh, not the grass. No, not those little flowers. No, there's something better. And I'm going to find it. So raccoon goes up the tree, out onto a branch. It's a fresh egg. In my mouth. Mother eagle comes. Raccoon just has time to under the branch. The egg is so big, raccoon cannot close his mouth. Mother eagle, give me my egg back. I can't even. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry in the egg. It's so good. I can't close my jaw. 1 hour, 2 hours. Mother, let go. No, I can't even move. I'm so hungry. 1 day, 2 days. Legs are falling asleep. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. Oh, I can't hold on anymore. I'm so hungry. And all of a sudden, what? Little eaglets into the nest. So about a day and a half later, I watched my friend practice not breathing. And in this practice, I really got the feeling of the intensity and the amazing potential of what it is to be in life. The exhilaration when we really are dancing in life, in our strength and our passion, and the absolute terror of looking at that which we do not want to see in ourselves. So as she was practicing not breathing, I practiced with her, so it's like, reminded me of swimming when I was a kid. So pumping, then all the way up. all the way. And I felt that exhilaration, like where your head gets fuzzy and everything when you breathe a whole bunch and then let all the air out. And then I felt the terror on the other side of all the air is out and I don't know if I'm going to get more. And then got to watch her as she jumped off the thing. And I realized in the jumping there's no more fear.